All right, let's move on to this Premier League title race, man. It is close. And I love the storyline behind the three teams involved. So, Man City, they could win their historic fourth Premier League title in a row. Never been done. You have Arsenal with a chance to win the title for the first time in 20 years. Damn, that makes me
Damn
feel
well.
old.
Yeah, and it not only that, but it's 20 years since the Invincibles.
That was the last time they won it.
Yeah, yeah, and their commemorative Invincible kit. So
And then you have Liverpool, who are trying to send Jurgen Klopp off with a title. One of Liverpool's best managers of all time. So that would be a fantastic result for them if they could do that. But I guess let's just get into it, man. Let's start with for me, who are the favorites to win the title? Manchester City.
yeah, man. I mean, if they win all their matches, they win the title, right? Like, I mean, we've had so many flip flops in the last couple of weeks of teams leading it. Pretty much all of them have led it in the last couple of weeks at some point or another. You know, Arsenal and Liverpool dropping points when they could have maximized on the fact that, City weren't playing. They didn't. All three teams are now out of Europe. So now it's wholeheartedly focus on the Premier League. That's all they have left. As City is in the FA Cup final, they won't play that till the season's over. So, I mean, Man City, right? They've won 3 in a row. They have the pedigree to be there. Mathematically, if they win their last 6 games, they'll win the title. They do have the easiest schedule, I will say. But they do have some matches that have given them a lot of fits in the last couple of seasons.
They do. They have a couple of them in there.
Yeah. Let's start with the one that seemingly gives them a problem every single year, and that's Spurs at Tottenham Stadium, where they have yet to score a goal at that stadium.
Is that true? Man City have yet to score at Hotspur Stadium?
At least in the league, I think they beat them at Hotspur Stadium in the FA Cup or the Carabao
Okay.
Cup. But yeah, in the Premier League, I mean, it's not really that old. They've only played a handful of games there,
Yeah.
but still, I mean, that match could be 1-0 to Spurs. It could be 0-0. Who knows what Spurs team's going to show up, and that's not until the last week of the season.
Yeah, that is. That's not until May 14th. I think the other tricky game for him could be Brighton coming up here this week. That one could be a little tricky.
Yeah, at the Amex, they've dropped points in 2 of the last 3 at the Amex. And then they also, last season, they dropped points at Forest away. So those are the 3 matches I think they could have a little trouble with. I think Forest, probably they'll run them out of their own park.
I think they will
Season,
steamroll Forest, yes.
So we'll see, right? Arsenal, as we're going to get onto them next, have played 2 games more at this point. They're in the driver's seat, as we like to say. Points on the board are better than games left to play. Arsenal are 4 points up on City, but City have 2 games in hand. We'll see how that goes. So Arsenal, Targo, our beloved Arsenal, how dare you give us hope? After losing to Villa, getting knocked out of the Champions League, they're still in it somehow.
Somehow,
How
man.
are you feeling? How are you feeling?
I was more excited last season versus this season. This season, I don't think they'll win it. Versus last season, I did up until that crumble. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I think Man City could win all their games, and it wouldn't matter if Arsenal won all their games, even though they have a pretty difficult schedule. They faced that one of the tougher games today against Chelsea, where they did steamroll Chelsea. But then
I think steamroll is an understatement. That game could have been 10-0 or 10-1. Holy cow.
But then they still have a couple tough games, going to Tottenham and Old Trafford.
Yeah. Yeah, Old Trafford is always a problem for Arsenal. However, they are playing probably the worst United side in a couple of decades?
Ever? I don't know, man. I mean, I think they've already. It was Chelsea. Chelsea today, with the goals they conceded against Arsenal, have conceded the most goals in a season, like in their history or something. And the season's not over.
57. Yeah, that is a lot. Yeah, I mean, Arsenal are, ticking all the boxes. They're hitting all the right gears at the right time. I mean, watching, Martin Odegaard, Kai Havertz, Thomas Partey back in the squad today, only his fifth start all season.
It was good to see him in the starting lineup.
And then, Benny Blanco getting some goals out of nowhere in his last one. Did you see it?
I did his
Accidental top corner
shanked,
finish.
yeah, his shanked cross that went into the goal.
Woof. Man, I wish I could score accidental goals like that more often. But yeah, I mean, Arsenal are hitting form at the right time. They do have the hardest schedule, which, for both of us is probably why we don't think they're going to win the title. I did predict them to win, so I'm going to keep with it and keep hope. And then at the end of the season, you can tell me I told you so when my lack of a soul is still crushed. And I don't want to watch football for a long time. City, I mean, back to City, they do have some injuries, right? Pep's been complaining about, the amount of games they have to play, and he's upset that they have to play a game midweek as well, and then go back and play again on the weekend. They play Thursday, Sunday, I believe. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne hasn't hit top form this season. Erling Haaland, we know about all of his struggles. Kyle Walker's been in and out of fitness. Rodri doesn't even look like himself. Against Chelsea, I've never seen him dribble the ball that far upfield before in the FA Cup. I mean, their defense looks shaky. Is this like the most opportune time for City to actually drop points in the run
It
in?
could be, yeah. I mean, Holland has not really hitting the form in the past couple of games, so it could be an opportune moment for the likes of a Tottenham.
Could be. Okay, and on to the team that has all the best storylines going for them. I mean, they're one of their best managers of all time, leaving at the end of the season. They have Anfield rocking right now. You kind of expect them to win every game at Anfield from here on out. They got knocked out of the Europa League by Atalanta, which I don't think anyone saw coming.
They got smoked at Anfield by Atalanta too.
Yeah.
Like 3-0.
Yeah. And it was probably the worst performance I've seen from them all season. They don't have the worst schedule. I mean, they have Spurs and Villa. I believe both are at home, if I'm not mistaken. They play Wolves as well.
Villa is not.
Villa at Villa Park. Okay.
Yeah.
And then they play Wolves, which could be a problem for them if they get all their players healthy. I mean, City still have to play Wolves as well. But after seeing them against Arsenal, with all their injuries, they had, 10 outfield senior players and a bunch of teenagers on the bench?
They had a 15-year-old, man, on their bench against Arsenal. A 15-year-old. That's nuts. There's definitely some players playing out of position as well. So, yeah, Wolves is hurting for injuries. So, we'll see if they get any back for.
Yeah, I mean, they do play Liverpool the last day of the season, right?
So, they should theoretically have some back.
Theoretically. I mean, Liverpool's getting most of their players back. Speaking of injuries, I mean, Trent Alexander-Arnold played at the weekend. Diogo Jota played. Alisson's back. They're looking healthy. Going forward, they look good until they get into that final third, and somehow they're now starting to miss a lot of chances. Why? Where did that come from?
I mean, they got Darwin Nunez, man. That's been his MO. I don't know who's worse at missing big chances, Darwin Nunez or Nicholas Jackson.
So I looked up the stats, and the only person that has missed more chances
Erling Haaland
than Nico Jackson is actually Darwin Nunez. Erling Haaland is like right there, right above Nico Jackson. But yeah, those three have missed more chances than most teams this season, which is crazy to me. But I mean, you got Luis Diaz, who's missing loads of chances. Mo Salah doesn't look like the same player he was. I mean, they just lost to Crystal Palace 1-0, and probably the best defensive performance I've ever seen from Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace looks pretty good right now, though, I will say. So, yeah, they beat Liverpool Palace, and then they had a big win after that.
Where, 5-1 against somebody.
It was 5-2 against West Ham. And
There
they
you go.
look good, man. When they have Eze and Olise on the pitch together at the same time, they can hurt you. And Glasner has them playing very well. I might change some of my manager rankings we did a while back, move him up a little, if I'm being honest with you, because I like what he's doing with Palace.
Yeah, he's done a lot of really good things with Palace, especially with those guys. But what I want to do, Targa, is I want to throw a little bit of a curveball at you.
Okay.
I want to go through these 3 teams,
3 teams.
go through their remaining schedule, and what you think the results are going to be.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So I will write this down so that way I can add up the points so I can actually let you know who is going to win the title according to your calculations. So we'll start this week. We got City playing Brighton at the Amex. How do you think this one's going to go? City wins. Okay. We got Liverpool against Everton Merseyside Derby.
Liverpool wins.
All right. And we got Arsenal. They already won against City. Surprise. Or Chelsea. Surprise, surprise. Okay. West Ham against Liverpool.
Liverpool win.
All right. City and Forest. I already
City
know the
win.
answer. Don't. Yeah. Okay. The big one. North London Derby. Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
I wouldn't be surprised if I see a draw there. Obviously, I want Arsenal to win it, but I'll say Arsenal win.
Okay. We got Arsenal against Bournemouth at the Emirates.
Arsenal win.
City against Wolves at the
City
Etihad.
win.
Liverpool against Tottenham at Anfield.
Liverpool win.
City against Fulham at Craven Cottage.
City win.
Arsenal against Manchester United at Old Trafford.
I think that could be a draw.
Okay. Aston Villa against Liverpool at Villa Park.
I think Villa win.
Okay. City and Tottenham at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
I will pray for any kind of result, but I think City will win, man. I think they will win all their games. I'll
Liverpool
say a draw.
against
How about
Wolves.
that? I'll even say
All
a
right.
draw. I'll say a City draw.
All right. I'll take a draw. Liverpool against Wolves. Last game of the season.
I think Liverpool could win that game.
Yeah, Klopp's final match.
Yeah.
I think there's too much there. Okay, Arsenal and Everton.
Arsenal win.
Win for the Gunners. Yeah. And then City against West Ham at the Etihad.
City win.
All right. So that's 16 points for City. That puts them at 89 points. Arsenal, you got 10 points. Whew, 87. And Liverpool, 12 points at 86. So no matter what happens, Targo, it's shaping up to be down to the wire. All the way down to that last match of the season.
It will be close, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's nuts.
It'll be exciting. This is why we're liking this season, man. Because usually, I mean, by now, last season, it seemed like City had ran away with it. There at the end after Arsenal bottled it. Hate using that word, but...
I hate it too, but, they're being 2-0 up against Southampton, West Ham, and Liverpool, and giving up 2 goals to draw all those games. Kind of have to say that they bottled it.
For me, the one that kills me is that Forest result when they lost to Nottingham Forest.
Yeah. But hey, You never know what could happen. That's why we love the Premier League. Any team can win on any given day. Sometimes it doesn't look very likely, and it's probably not going to happen, but it could. So you're saying there's a chance.
I mean, look at Crystal Palace beating Liverpool at Anfield this past weekend. Didn't see that coming.
Right? And what did that do for Palace in the relegation race? Well, it pretty much took them out of it.
I would make sure to check us out on our Instagram, TikTok, Brews FC, Brews Banter FC. Follow us on the YouTube, hit like, subscribe, follow, all the fun stuff. Give us 5 stars on Spotify or wherever you're listening to this on your podcast platform. On that note, we love you guys. Thank you so much. Cheers. Today's episode is brought to you by Acorn Hills Clothing Company. Sustainable clothing, biodegradable packaging, tree planted for every purchase, and a percentage of their sales donated to charities.
Yeah, and that's not even the best part. They give you these plantable clothing tags with every purchase. Pretty much greatest idea ever.
That is
scan
awesome.
the QR code right here for planting instructions. So make sure you go to www.acornhillsco.com and use Brews15. That is BREWS15 at checkout for 15% off and have your tree planted today.
Yes, don't forget to use our code Brews15 at checkout for 15% off. This is one you don't want to miss, guys.